Beautiful, right? That's DJI's Osmo Pocket 3, one of the cleanest, most advanced pocket cameras on the market. But here's the twist. Here's the Creator Kit, which sells for almost $830 altogether. And all by itself, I think the camera is closer to $700. And here it is, also on Amazon, under the name Extra Muse. And it only sells for about $500 here. The exact same camera, same specs, same design, same startup sound is being sold right now under a total different name, the Extra Muse. Here's DJI's Osmo Action 5 Pro combo for $349, and you can get it by itself for $269. Nice. And here it is again, the Extra Edge Pro. Same camera, same price, same specs, same design, same startup sound, being sold right now under the same brand, Extra. So, how does a company get banned and still show up on Amazon under a new alias? Let's talk about it. When the US government says they're banning a company, most people imagine a clean kill. TikTok, Huawei, DJI, 3 letters, blacklisted, gone from the shelves like the end of a spy movie. But what happens when the villain doesn't die? What if it just changes costumes? Because DJI, the world's biggest drone maker and growing camera company, didn't disappear. It duplicated, actually. There's a new brand on Amazon called Extra, selling a camera called the Extra Muse. Same design as the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, same gimbal, same screen, same sound when you power it on. It's not inspired by the DJI Osmo Pocket. It is DJI, just wearing somebody else's name tag. So how's that legal? How's it even possible in a country that literally wrote the book on corporate regulation? Because that's the play we're decoding today. Because this isn't just a tech story, it's a strategy lesson. It's how an innovation outsmarts politics, and how banning a brand doesn't kill technology, it just teaches it how to hide. Welcome to the Business of Play with Cassius Clay. Let's break down the game. When Congress pushed to restrict DJI, the headline sounded absolute. No more Chinese drones. They framed it as national security, data risk, foreign surveillance, and sure, maybe that's part of it, but beneath the flag waving was something deeper: control over innovation pipelines. See, DJI didn't just make drones, they defined the modern drone industry. Their cameras, sensors, gimbals, and chips are the standard parts every other manufacturer builds around. That means even non-DJI brands are in some way DJI descendants. You can outload the logo, you can stop new FCC certifications, but you can't delete the ecosystem. And that's where things got interesting. Almost overnight, new companies appeared out of nowhere. Sky Rover, Skyani, Cogito, Jovastar, Focaxo. Each one mysteriously ready to sell drones with identical hardware, identical apps, and identical features. Even the startup sound was the same chime. Coincidence? Please. That's not coincidence. That's continuity. Because the ban hit the brand, not the blueprint. Part 2, the strategy. This is where you see the real genius of DJI's business model. Instead of fighting regulators head on, they went sideways. They built a network of OEM partnerships, original equipment manufacturers that already produce DJI components. Then they use those factories to create new companies on paper. Each of these brands gets its own FCC ID, its own trademark, and its own business registration, often everywhere from California and out to places as far as Malaysia and even Hong Kong. Legally, they're different companies. Technically, they're running DJI's latest firmware and software. It's corporate judo. The law bans the name, not the DNA. To prove a violation, the US needs hard evidence. 50% ownership, executive control, board seats, or written direction from DJI headquarters. But when your paper trail zigzags through shell corporations and subcontractors, it's almost impossible to trace. So while Washington plays whack-a-mole, DJI plays supply chain chess. And they've been practicing the game for years. Remember when Huawei got banned from selling phones? A few months later, a brand called Honor popped up, built on Huawei's old tech, but technically a different company. Same move, new board. This is the shadow economy of global tech, where legal separation becomes the new innovation. Part 3, the Amazon revelation. Now let's bring it home. You're shopping on Amazon, you search Pocket Camera Gimbal, you see 2 listings. One says DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for $635, looks something like this. The other says Extra Muse, $499, and looks something like this. The pictures, identical. The specs, copy-pasted. Even the marketing language feels like it was written by the same team, because it probably was. Yonko Design tore one down, Red Shark News confirmed it, same production line, same parts, same software. The only thing that changed was the logo on the box and the name on the import form. And that's the loophole in plain sight. You can ban DJI as a company, but you'd have to rewrite the law to ban DJI as a technology. To do that, regulators would need to define exactly what counts as DJI tech. But DJI parts are shared across hundreds of global suppliers. Motors, sensors, chips, code libraries. If you banned every product using those, you'd accidentally wipe out half the camera industry. So instead of killing DJI, the ban created a clone army. It's the Star Wars strategy. You strike down the Empire, and the stormtroopers just put on new helmets. Part 4, the bigger picture. And this isn't unique to DJI. TikTok already did this with CapCut, and they're doing it again with Lemonade. Huawei did it with Honor. Even Meta and Apple do it in reverse, using shell subsidiaries to minimize taxes and skirt regional laws. In the modern business landscape, brands are fluid, but technology is persistent. Once something's in the supply chain, it's basically immortal. That's why bans rarely work. They just rebrand the problem. Here's the takeaway. DJI didn't beat the system with lawyers. They beat it with leverage. They separated their brand risk from their technology dominance. They turned a government ban into a distribution strategy, and in doing so, they exposed the truth about regulation in the digital age. You can't ban innovation. You can only rename it. For creators and marketers, there's a deeper lesson here. When you build something powerful enough, the world keeps selling it, even when you're not allowed to. That's what legacy looks like in the attention economy. So next time you scroll past a camera that looks suspiciously familiar, don't assume it's a knockoff. Assume it's a strategy. Because in the business of play, the smartest move isn't always breaking the rules. It's learning how to bend them so hard they start working for you. This is the business of play, according to Cassius Clay. Like, follow, and subscribe on LinkedIn and YouTube. Because you can ban the brand, but you can't stop the play or the music.